world record for the shortest 100 meters sprint time of 9.58 seconds.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Which club is the first to win Champions League?
That's very easy. Real Madrid. The first Champions League was won by Real Madrid during the 1955 and 1956 season.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're listening to Sports in a Jiffy on Impact Radio 102.1 FM Lagos.
Sports in a Jiffy is live on your radio, Friday edition of the show today, 24th day in the month of October, year 2025, bringing you all of the major updates coming through from the ever exciting, ever dynamic, and sometimes controversial world of sports. 7 to you in bits and in pieces this morning. Tiptoeing through all of the major stories, because this is the place where the early bird has gone around the world to catch the scores, and it is my duty to serve it to you fast or fact, making it compact for you, whether you're a sports person or you're just someone who love the game, or you're an athlete yourself. This is the best place for you to be this morning. Grab your favorite beverage, might be tea, might be coffee, might be water, whatever suits you, and let's enjoy this right together. Ayodeji Ajiboye is my name. Absolute honor to be your host on the show, taking you through all of the major stories this morning, and also results and reactions from the UEFA Europa League and also the UEFA Conference League matches that were played from last night. Aston Villa losing to Go Ahead Eagles, and Crystal Palace also losing to Athens, a Cyprus side, in that game last night. Two English champions, two English big teams losing out to teams from lesser leagues, and the manager of Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner, is saying that this is a good one, a wake-up call to his players. Aston Villa have been on an amazing run of form, played a bit of unbeaten games right there in Europe and also in the English Premier League. But yes, they got their first defeat last night. A couple of first defeats and also first wins happened in the UEFA Europa League and also in the UEFA Conference League from last night. Nottingham Forest have won their first game in Europe in 29 years and their first win after 8 matches this season under their new boss, Sean Dyche. You can say maybe that's a new manager bounce happening right there. They also kept a clean sheet. 2 penalty goals was what Nottingham Forest needed to be at top of that particular game from yesterday, defeating Porto, which is now Porto's first loss in a dozen of matches that they have also played right there in the Portuguese league. I'll be bringing you updates coming through from the home front, talking about Nigerian football at the Nigerian Premier Football League, and also talk about the African scene where we have 2 representatives on the continent. One team will be playing at home this weekend, and that's talking about Rivers United, looking to overturn that 1-goal deficit that they suffered when they traveled to Mozambique against the Black Bulls last weekend. While the other team, though they've been in the midst of a bit of back and forth with the South African consulate and the embassy, but yes, finally they are there in South Africa, and hopefully they'll be turning that 5-goal deficit around us. That's talking about Remo Stars, who will be playing against Mamelodi Sundowns. News on the street is that the Super Falcons of Nigeria will be in action later tonight in their own first leg of the qualifiers against the ladies from Benin Republic ahead of the WAFCON 2026 and also a qualifier for the FIFA Women's World Cup in the year 2027. News on the street talking about transfer is the fact that Bundesliga side RB Leipzig are now on the hunt for Nigerian's prodigy Benjamin Fredich, the prodigy was shown to limelight in a couple of weeks ago, especially with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, a right back and also a centre back fit right there. Currently on loan in Norway with Denda from Brentford. Don't forget that he first joined Brentford on loan as well before they made that deal permanent. And yes, it's been said that about 12 million euros Eagles is what RB Leipzig are looking to offer for the youngster right there. We'll tell you more about that in the course of the show this morning. Sports in a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Don't forget that we serve you this package Mondays to Fridays from 10 a.m. down to about 10 to the flip side of 10 right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. And later this evening, we'll be back on the Sports Talk Show between 5 p.m. down to 6 p.m. where we'll be doing 1 hour of banter, 1 hour of rage, 1 hour of views, reviews, and all of the major interviews, keeping you abreast of the top stories in the world of sports. And to the switch of the back of the net right about now, we'll be getting the show on the road with us coming through from the home front on the show this morning. At the back of the just concluded FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup right there. The Nigerian Under-17 Women's coach Bankole Olowokere has now called on his players to show resilience and fight for survival after their narrow 1-0 defeat to France, leaving their hopes of advancing to knockout stages of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup hanging in the balance. The Flamingos, who have now suffered back-to-back defeat in Morocco, put up a much improved performance compared to their opening loss against Canada, but were undone by a late strike from the France's Maïssa Fatala in the 81st minute. Speaking after the game, Olowokere admitted the result was disappointing, but insisted that the team would not give up on qualification hopes. It is so disappointing. Well, despite the defeat, the coach drew positives from his team's fighting spirit, expressing belief that a big win in their final group game against Samoa Highland could still secure progression to the next round. The game we played, according to him, is far better than the one against Canada. He definitely noted that 0 points and a goal deficit left for them to overturn. There's every possibility, and Olowokere is emphasizing the need for his side to be clinical and focused when they face Samoa in their last group fixture. All hands in glove. What do we do from this end? We wish the ladies all the very best, and hopefully they are able to turn things around for themselves in that particular game by the end of the week. And away from that, talking about football on the show this one is still, I'm talking about women's football. Nigerian Super Falcons will be aiming to secure an early advantage when they face Benin's Amazons in the first leg of the final 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations qualifying tie at the Stade de Kege in Lomé later today. Head coach Justin Madugu has 19 players available for the encounter and expressed confidence that his squad will deliver a result worthy of the status as the title holders of the Women's African Cup of Nations. The 25,000 capacity stadium in the Togolese capital will be hosting West African Derby as the 10-time African champions will be seeking a commanding win that could make the return leg in Nigeria next week Tuesday a formality. Nigerians are bidding to defend the title they won in Morocco in July this year, and the North African nation will also be hosting next year's tournament where all 4 semi-finalists will automatically qualify for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup right there in Brazil. Notable omissions from the squad is Ekejini Jennifer, who is unavailable due to injury, and Madugu is expected to rely on FS State-based midfielder Deborah Abiodo to partner captain Rashidat Ajibade and Christy Chebe in the middle of the park. The Falcons seeking to maintain their dominance on the continent and extend the record as the most successful team in history of the Women's African Cup of Nations. The game is going to be kicking off by 4 p.m. Nigerian time. The very best to the Super Falcons of Nigeria going into that particular encounter later today. Still taking more thoughts coming through from the home front on the show this morning. Sports in a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Just like I mentioned, that the Super Falcons are looking to command the comfortable win in the game later today. Quickly, we take other stories coming through from the home front this morning, and as it concerns Nigerian players, it's been said that Super Eagles star Samuel Chukwueze may not be available for Nigeria's campaign at 2026 World Cup African playoff owing to an injury picked up recently while playing for Fulham. Fulham manager Marco Silva yesterday said that Chukwueze is among 7 players expected to miss this weekend English Premier League action against Newcastle United, with winger Ariosin another doubt for the trip. He said that it's difficult yet to put a time frame on the return of the former AC Milan midfielder, saying it would be determined by Fulham's doctor later. Don't forget that Nigeria will be facing Gabon on the first semi-final of the African playoffs in Morocco on November 13 and meet the winner of the second semi-final between Congo Democratic Republic and also Cameroon on November 16. And bringing more updates coming through from that particular encounter, news is now having it that the Super Eagles are ready for the mission Morocco because NFF has confirmed that Super Eagles will converge on Rabat from November 9. That's 5 days before their CAF World Cup playoffs opener against Gabon, and Super Eagles are set to land early in Morocco with the camp opening in morning in Rabat. The game against Gabon is going to be on 13, and the winner will be playing against Cameroon and DR Congo. Preparations are set to have started off very well from the part of the NFF to make sure that the boys converge in camp as early as possible. Hopefully, this will be a thorn of something good for the Super Eagles players going into that particular one. And away from that story right now, quickly skedaddle away from the on front, bringing thoughts coming through from other sports on the show this morning. I will start with the world of basketball. The NBA season just tipped off, and a couple of amazing performances right there from the themes the opening game on Tuesday, and we've seen other games that have gone down in the NBA from Wednesday to this very minute. Giannis Antetokounmpo reminded everyone why he's one of the game's most unstoppable forces as they led the Milwaukee Bucks to a 133 to 120 victory over the Washington Wizards on their opening night. The two-time MVP exploded for 37 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists, setting the tone early in front of the home crowd in Milwaukee. And his relentless drives, controlling transition, and energy on both ends carried the Bucks throughout the game. Beyond the start line, Giannis, the story continues to inspire. Talk about his rise to being an NBA superstar and a proof of perseverance, hard work, and pride in his roots. Supporting name is Chris Middleton, who added 23 points and 3 triples, while Miles Turner contributed 11.8 rebounds and 3 blocks to help secure the win for the Milwaukee. And another story is coming through on the opening night. Vijay Erkom also delivered one of the most unforgettable debut in the recent NBA history, having scored 34.7 rebounds and added 3 assists in his very first professional game. According to the NBA, Edgecombe became the first player this century to score 30 plus points in a career debut and posted the highest scoring debut since Will Chamberlain. That puts the young star in elite company, and now you can say that he has fans to himself. It's only game 1, but Edgecombe's debut already feels like the start of something special for his team right there. Gigos Alexander also scores 55 points in the win for the Thunder. Alexander scored a career 55 points to lead the Oklahoma City Thunder to a double overtime victory against the Indiana Pacers in a rematch of last season's NBA's final. The reigning NBA most valuable player added 8 rebounds and 5 assists as defending champions claimed the 141 to 135 win. It came just hours after the league was shocked by an FBI investigation into illegal sport betting and illegal poker ring tied to organized crime. Gigos Alexander had scored the winning points in a double overtime win against the Houston Rockets in the Thunder season opener on Wednesday. Once again, the Canadian guard proved crucial, netting 9 points in the second overtime as he beat his previous career best of 54 points. The Thunder became the first team in NBA history to go into doubles overtime in their first 2 games of the campaign. Indiana have been without their star guard Tyrese Haliburton, who is actually standing in June, while they suffered another injury blow on Thursday when they lost guard Andrew Nemhard to shoulder injury in the second quarter. Also last night, Stephen Curry scored 42 points to lead the Golden State Warriors to a 137 to 131 point win in overtime against the Denver Nuggets. And away from the world of basketball on the show this morning, straight into the world of Formula One, where it's been said that McLaren must be ready to cut throat. That's talking about Hamilton dropping a bid of not yet for McLaren. They were Hamilton as one McLaren title contenders, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, about Max Verstappen's core truth character as the 3 head into the final 5 races of the season. Piastri is currently leading by the championship by 14 points from Norris, while Verstappen is 40 points off the lead after 3 wins and in second place in the past 4 races. Hamilton, who fought an intense and bitter championship battle with Verstappen in 2021, said in that scenario it's challenging. The pressure is high. It is time when you have to put your blinkers up and block everything from the outside. The 7-time champion said that Verstappen had the easiest job as the driver coming from behind. He was 104 points adrift of Piastri after the Dutch Grand Prix at the end of August, and now fast forward to October, has now cut it down to 40 points. Mercedes driver George Russell, who won in Singapore 2 races ago, said the McLaren guys have the fastest car, so it's theirs to lose. But Max and Red Bull are doing an amazing job, so you can never discount them. Definitely, you can never discount a certain driver like Max Verstappen will be looking to win the driver's title for the 5th time in a row. Later this weekend, I will be seeing something amazing right there in Mexico. Of course, it's going to be the Mexico Grand Prix this weekend in the world of Formula 1. Away from that story right now, let's make a quick stop in the world of tennis. Remember that I always tell you that whatever your agenda is, I've got you on my agenda on Sports in a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Elena Rybakina has clinched the last spot for the next month's WTA Finals by beating Victoria Mboko to reach the Pan Pacific Open semifinals. The 2022 Wimbledon champion, who has won 2 WTA 500 titles this year, beat 19-year-old Mboko 6-3, 7-6 to set her place in the end of season event. The WTA Finals, which features the top 8 singles players and doubles teams of the year, starts on 1st of November in Saudi Arabia. Kazakhstan's Rybakina needed to reach the least semifinals in Tokyo to pass Russian 19-year-old Miran Dreva in the race for the 8th and final spot. Victoria Mboko means she will be joining Aryna Sabalenka, Igor Swiatek, Kokogov, Amanda Anisimova, Madison Keys, Jessica Pegula, and Jasmine Paolini right there in Riyadh come next week. Rybakina Andreeva and fellow Russian Ekaterina Alexandrova were 30 at the first and second alternates for the finals. Rybakina won her second title of the season at the Ningbo Open in China on Sunday to boost the chances of reaching the WTA finals for a 3rd successive year. The 26-year-old will rise to world number 6 when the rankings are updated next Monday. Will face 6-seed Linda Noskova of the Czech Republic in the Tokyo semifinals tomorrow, Saturday. Still talking tennis on the show this morning. A new ATP Masters 1000 tournament will be added to the tennis calendar from 2028 and is going to be staged in Saudi Arabia. Now, let the clamor come true from the players once again. Already, the players are saying that their calendar is too stacked, too loaded, and that a lot of things that they are putting into traveling to all of these tournaments, because for every year, for every season, the players have a specified number of 1,000 events, 500 events, and 250 events that they have to attend to be able to garner points from themselves. And if you remember, the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing a couple of players who have retired and called their season a close very early on. Some of them in WTA, some of them in the ATP. Even Yannick Sinner already has said, look here, I want to call it a quit this year already, and we will still be seeing more of them. I think the only player in the top 5 who is still very much playing this year is Carlos Alcaraz. After winning the 6 King Slams in Saudi Arabia last week, Yannick Sinner said, look, I want to rest. And well, there's still one more ATP event to go this year. I'll be looking forward to see how many of the men's will be right there. But talking about the new ATP Masters 1000 tournament that will be added to the tennis calendar from 2028, it's going to be a 56-man field contest in a 1-week event, and it's said to be most likely in February. Another sign of the increasing pulling power of the Gulf state. Saudi Arabia already owns the WTA finals and the next-gen ATP finals, and its public investment fund is the official naming partner of both the ATP and WTA ranking events. A good one for the Saudis. They are doing something magical right there, making sure that they are pulling a bit of all of the major sports to their side. And away from the world of tennis right now, we'll go straight into the world of football, bringing you updates and also reactions from some of the actions that have gone down over the weekend. Before that, let's quickly tell you about this news coming through from Galatasaray, where striker Victor Osimhen has expressed his delight after making history in the size 3-0 win over Bodo and Glim, a victory that saw him break Burak Yilmaz's European scoring record for the club. The Nigerian forward scored twice in the third minute to lead Galatasaray to an emphatic home win, and his Braves not only secured the point but also wrote his name into the club's record books as the first player to score in 7 consecutive European matches, surpassing the long-standing Burak Yilmaz record that has been there from 2021. Osimhen, who scored 37 goals and provided 7 assists in 41 games for Galatasaray last season before penning a permanent 4-year deal in August, has found the back of the net against teams like Tottenham Hotspur, AZ Alkmaar, Dynamo Kiev, and Ajax in the UEFA Europa League last season, before keeping a streak alive against Liverpool in Galatasaray's 1-0 victory in their last Champions League outing. And away from that story, it's talking about Nigerian players who are planning their trade outside of the shores of Nigeria. It's been said that Moses Simon will be set for an emotional reunion as Paris FC will be facing Nantes. It will be an emotional night for Nigerian international Moses Simon when he takes to the pitch at the Stade Sebastien Chartel later tonight as Paris FC will be hosting Nantes in a fresh Ligue 1 match day 9 fixture. For the first time since living in the summer, Simon will face his former club Nantes, where he spent 6 memorable years before joining newly promoted Paris FC. Simon became a fan favorite at Nantes, making 201 appearances, scoring 37 goals and providing 42 assists. He also helped the club lift the Coupe de France in 2022. Now going into all of the fixtures and the matches to look forward to this weekend. The big question on the lips of every football enthusiast right now is, can Arsenal defend? Can Arsenal's defense lead them to title glory? Because since the start of the season, a lot of football enthusiasts have been quoting the words of former Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson, who said something about attack winning you games and defense winning you trophies. And hopefully, the Arsenal defense will be able to do that. After having the best defense but scoring 17 fewer goals than champions Liverpool last season, it now looks obvious that Arsenal would have to improve their attack if they were to have a better opportunity of winning the Premier League this time around. But yes, Arsenal as defense this season have gone on another level this 2025-2026 season, making sure that they are conceding less and then they are scoring more goals. Definitely, I want to look forward to. We'll be looking to analyze all of this later tonight on the Sport Up Show. Still taking more stories coming through from the world of football. Marcus Rashford hopes to stay at Barcelona when his loan agreement from Manchester United ends in the summer. Barca have the option to sign the England for permanently for £28 million, a lower fee than the £40 million United will seek from any other club. And the 27-year-old United contract runs until 2028, but he appears to have no future at Old Trafford, while Ruben Amorim is still the head coach. Rashford spent second half of last season at Aston Villa, where his career was revived under Unai Emery. He took his goal tally to 5 in 12 games for Barca, thanks to a double against Olympiacos in the Champions League on Tuesday, and is now set to play in the first El Clasico against Real Madrid this weekend. Believing he is benefiting from a change of scenery. Hopefully, this is going to work in good favor for Marcus Rashford and also Manchester United. Quickly going into all of the fixtures that will be happening this weekend in the English Premier League later tonight. Leeds United will be at home when West Ham United will be visiting them right there at the Elland Road. Another big test right there for Nuno Espirito Santo in charge of West Ham United. Don't forget that he lost his first game as the head coach of West Ham United in the last time out. Anyway, from that, matches will also be played in the UEFA Conference League later tonight. Rijeka will be hosting Sparta Prague later tonight, right there in the UEFA Conference League. And other leagues will be happening. That's talking about the top 5 European leagues. Real Sociedad will be hosting Sevilla 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and the German Bundesliga, Werder Bremen will be hosting Union Berlin 7:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Italian Serie A, AC Milan will be at home when Pisa will be visiting them right there in the French Ligue 1. Paris FC will be hosting Nantes in the French Ligue 1. In the Nigerian Premier Football League, Katsina United this evening will be hosting El Kanemi Warriors. Nasarawa United will be hosting Ramos Alke. The game has been postponed right there. It's only the game between Katsina United and El Kanemi Warriors that will be going down this weekend in the Nigerian Premier Football League. And for tomorrow, Saturday, Chelsea will be hosting Sunderland at 3 p.m. Newcastle United up against Fulham. Same time, Manchester United will be hosting Brighton and Hove Albion. Manchester United looking to break a major deadlock in that particular game and go on to win 5 games in 7 matches. Brentford will also be hosting Liverpool 8 p.m. Nigerian time for that particular fixture in the English Premier League. Another top 5 leagues top 5 European leagues in the Spanish La Liga. Girona will be hosting Real Oviedo. Espanyol will be up against Elche. Athletic Club up against Getafe, while Valencia will be hosting Villarreal. In German Bundesliga, Augsburg up against RB Leipzig. Borussia Mönchengladbach up against Bayern Munich. Eintracht Frankfurt will be hosting St. Pauli. Hamburger will be hosting Wolfsburg. Hoffenheim will be hosting FC NDM, while Borussia Dortmund will be up against FC Köln, while in the Italian Serie A, Parma will be up against Como. Udinese will be hosting Leeds. Napoli will be hosting Inter Milan. Cremonese will be hosting Atalanta right there in the Italian Serie A, while in the French Ligue 1, Stade Brest will be hosting Paris Saint-Germain. Monaco will be up against Toulouse, while Arsenal will be up against Marseille. Sporting a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Here's I call it a wrap on the package for this morning. I say many thanks to everyone who's been a part of the show. Don't forget forget that Sports Nation Jiffy will return next week from Mondays down to Fridays, 10 a.m. down to the flip side of 10. And Sports Up Show on Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. down to 7 p.m. On Fridays, 5 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 2 to 3 p.m. on our banter, on our rage, on our viewers, reviews, and all of the interviews right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. A such reminder that we're streaming live on our YouTube channel at Impact 102.1 FM. You can keep track of this update and more by visiting that page, as well as our Facebook fan page at Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Ayodeji Ajibere signing out this morning. I'll tell you to stay sporty, stay active, drink enough water to stay hydrated. Go out there, be the best version of yourself. Do not forget to be kind, because kindness is cool. If you meet someone on your way this morning who seem to be without a smile, try as much as possible to give them a bit of yours. Be the rainbow in someone else's dark cloud. It's a cold, cozy morning right here in the industrial city of Lagos, and I hope that you have an amazing weekend. Good morning.
From the greens of golf to the court of tennis and basketball, the octagon of UFC to the square room for boxing, track of Formula One, and the